Hello everyone, in this video we're going to draw an Allosaurus. Start by drawing a circle as a guide for the front part of the body. An easy way to draw a circle is to first make a couple of small marks to indicate the circle's height, and then on the sides make a couple more small marks to indicate the circle's width. Then just connect the small marks using curved lines to finish the shape of the circle. You don't have to draw a perfect circle, but if you're having trouble drawing one, just trace the outer edge of a coin, a bottle cap, or anything else with a circular edge. On the bottom right side, draw another circle as a guide for the back portion of the body. Don't overlap the first circle as you draw this circle. Sketch lightly at first so that it's easy to erase if you make a mistake. Also, pause the video as you follow along to draw at your own pace. At the top, draw another circle as a guide for the head. Make the head circle about half the size of the first circle. Don't draw this circle too high up or the neck will be too long. Draw a horizontal line across the middle of the head circle for a construction guide. On the right side of the head, draw a small rectangular shape as a guide for the top jaw. Draw a couple of horizontal lines for the top and bottom of the jaw, and then close off the shape on the right side with a vertical line. Below that, draw a thinner rectangular shape as a guide for the lower jaw. Slope the bottom jaw slightly to the bottom right. Under the back portion of the body, draw a long angled line as a guide for the hind leg. Bend the line a couple of times near the middle to indicate the joints. At the bottom, draw a short horizontal line as a guide for the toes. Farther to the left, draw another long angled line as a guide for the other hind leg. Pay attention to how this line bends at the top. These lines should be long in relation to the body. Inside the front part of the body, draw a short angled line as a guide for the arm. On the left side, draw a short sloping line for the visible section of the other arm. Connect the head to the body using curved lines to create the guide for the neck. Make the line on the right shorter than the line on the left. On the right side of the body, draw a long curved line as a guide for the tail. This line should be almost the same length as the body. And that's it for the guidelines. Now let's start on the final drawing. Inside the head, lightly sketch a small circle for the eye. Place the eye close to the top right edge of the head circle. When you get the size and position of the eye right, darken the shape. Draw a short sloping line on top of the eye for the brow. Inside the eye, draw a tiny dot for the pupil. Draw a few curved lines around the eye for creases on the skin. Above the eye, draw a thick sloping shape for the bony section on the skull. The top part of the shape should be above the head. Sketch lightly at first and only darken the lines when you get the shape right. Make the top of the shape pointy so that it's similar to a horn. Use curved lines as you darken the shape to create a rough texture. To the left, draw a wavy line for the edge of the thick brow. On the right side, draw another pointy shape for the bony segment that's on the other side of the head. Use the big rectangular shape as a guide to draw the top jaw. Darken the guide, but make the lines more curved. At the bottom, draw a long wavy line for the top edge of the open mouth. The tip of this line should be farther left than the eye. Inside the jaw, at the top, draw a small curved shape for the nostril. Add a short curved line to the left to give the jaw structure. Use the shape at the bottom as a guide to draw the lower jaw. Darken the basic path of the guide, but make the lines more curved. On the left side, draw a longer curved line for the muscles on the jaw. Draw a short curved line around the mouth for a crease. Now draw a series of small triangular shapes along the inner edges of the jaws for the teeth. Make the teeth different sizes. Add a curved line at the top for the other side of the top jaw. Add teeth at the bottom too and draw a curved line for the other side of the bottom jaw. Draw more teeth on the other side of the bottom jaw. Add a curved line inside the mouth for the tongue. Darken the outer edges of the initial guides to create the shape of the head. Use wavy lines as you darken the guides to create a bony structure. Add wavy lines below the head for the loose skin. Use the long angled line on the bottom right side of the body as a guide to draw the leg. First, lightly sketch the shape of the leg around the guideline. Make the top part of the leg wide. At the bottom, draw a triangular shape for the foot. When you get the shape of the leg right, darken the lines. Curve the edges of the leg around the guides to create the joints. Use curved shapes as you darken the lines to create the muscle structure. The top of the leg should be inside the body. Make the areas around the joints thin. Curve the bottom of the shape down for the foot. Draw 3 small triangular shapes along the bottom edge of the foot for the claws. Draw the toes around the claws. The toes are facing forward, so only draw a few short curved lines for the shapes. Use the long angled line on the left side as a guide to draw the other leg. First, lightly sketch the shape of the leg around the guideline. Make the top part of the leg wider than the bottom. When you get the shape of the leg right, darken the lines. A big part of the top of the leg will be hidden behind the body. Make the lines curved as you darken them for the muscle structure. On the right side, draw a short V-shaped line for the toe that's higher up on the foot. On the front of the foot, draw small triangular shapes for the claws. Draw curved lines around the claws for the toes. Use the short angled line that's inside the body as a guide to draw the arm. Just like with the legs, first lightly sketch the shape of the arm around the guideline. When you get the shape of the arm right, darken the lines. The arm should be small and thin in relation to the legs. Make the lines curved as you darken them to create the muscle structure. Bend the shape near the middle to create the joint. At the bottom, draw 3 thin, pointy shapes for the fingers. Sketch lightly at first and only darken the fingers when you get the shapes right. Use the short line on the left as a guide to draw the visible section of the other arm the same way. Lightly sketch the arm around the guide and only darken the lines when you get the shape right. Draw 3 thin, pointy shapes at the bottom for the fingers. Curve the shapes of the fingers to create the joints. Darken the outer edges of the initial guides to create the shape of the body. As you darken the guides, make the lines more angular for the muscles and joints. Don't overlap the arm and leg that are on this side of the body as you darken the underside. Darken the long curved guide on the right side for the top edge of the tail. Draw another long curved line at the bottom to complete the shape of the tail. Make the base of the tail wide and then gradually make it thinner toward the tip. Now erase the initial guidelines. The next few steps are sped up so that the video isn't too long. You don't have to erase all of the guidelines, it's okay if you leave some behind. Redraw any of the final lines that you may have accidentally erased. Now shade your drawing. Use a medium value as a base for the entire body. Shade lightly at first and gradually build up to darker values. For light values, push down very lightly on your pencil, then push down harder for darker values. Add slightly darker values across the body to create shadows. Shadows will give the figure more dimension and volume. Draw short curved lines across the body to create texture on the skin. Use long wavy lines to create longer folds on the skin. Curve the texture lines to conform to the shapes of the body. If you'd like, you can add spots to the skin using a different value. Draw a cast shadow at the bottom using a medium value. Darken the final lines to emphasize the shapes. Shading can be time-consuming, so be patient and take breaks. Keep shading until you're happy with the result, and that's it for the Allosaurus. Remember to pause the video to draw at your own pace. Also, please visit howtodrawanimals.com for more tutorials. That's how, and then the number 2, then drawanimals.com. If you'd like to support my channel, please consider buying my books on Amazon. I'll leave a link in the description below. Let me know in the comments what your favorite dinosaur is. Don't forget to leave a like and to subscribe. Thank you for watching, and until next time, keep drawing.